Hey, welcome back to Real Talk. Thanks for hanging out with us. Love for you to comment and subscribe to our channel. Joe, would you say that we're pretty similar or we're a lot different?
Oh, similar or different? That's a great question. Well, I know some things that we're different about.
Okay.
We're different, like,
Oh, gosh.
you're anti-gun and I'm
Oh,
a gun
gosh,
owner.
what? Don't do
You're
that.
a vegan and I love eating red meat. Isn't that how we're different? I mean, those are just some things we've talked about here on
Neither
Real
of
Talk.
those things are true.
You're not vegan?
No.
What are you?
We're both professionals. You know that I can force this information out of you, but I'm running out of time.
I just didn't want to eat red meat.
You just don't like red meat.
Yeah.
But you have hamburger,
Yeah.
right? You'll eat a Big Mac,
Yeah.
but not a
Big
filet
Mac.
mignon.
Not Big Mac, but.
And you're not, you're not
I'm not
anti-gun.
anti-gun.
No, not at
Come
all.
on.
But it is fun. And we are different. Like, you're really skinny and I'm not. You know, there's things that we're similar about. Like, we both love the Bible. And we
Okay.
both love being pastors and leading and teaching. But we don't, I don't know. There's probably ways we're different. Like, I think you might like preaching and teaching more than I do.
Okay. Spam? Do you like spam?
Oh my gosh. Why would anybody, I don't even know. I don't have a category for this. Do you like hot dogs?
Oh. Every once in a while.
Hot dog is like, a spam is like hot dog in a can.
It's not.
but-
No, it's not.
You like spam?
No. No.
So why did you give it to me? Am I gonna get diarrhea?
I don't know. I hope not.
Should I smell? Oh.
Give it a go.
Is this
I think you'll like this one.
vegan? Like some kind of soy?
Oh no, this is real meat.
This is meat? The chicken?
Is this meat? It's a kind of meat.
What did you?
Oh,
I don't know.
ingredients. It's pork based.
Is this spam?
Yes, it is spam.
Why did you do
Do
that
you
to me?
do you like it?
No, I don't even like the thought of it. But we're similar. There's similarities, but there's also a bunch of differences. Like, you're from the West Coast, I'm from the East Coast.
We call it the best coast.
Yeah, West Coast, worst coast. I think that's more like it. But you're not a big fan of New Jersey, right? Have you even been to New Jersey?
I've been to New Jersey. Yeah.
When?
I've been there a couple times.
Really? What
Yeah.
have you seen?
Oh, I played golf there one time.
Oh, good golf courses in Jersey.
Yeah. Went shopping there one time. We were in Philly. Don't you just have to like go across the
go
bridge
across the
and you're in Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philly's different,
Yeah.
but the same
Okay.
as New York, kind of. What are we talking about today?
No. Here's what we're talking about. 7 billion people walking around on the planet, just cruising around doing life. Lots of similarities, some differences between people, depending on where you live and who you are and how you grew up, right? Lots of reasons why you could be different, and a lot that makes us the same. And we're living in a time that we really highlight the differences, right? Like, everything is about what makes you, you, what makes me, and the differences. And there's just this great sort of cultural division, polarization around differences. True?
Absolutely. So magnified. Let's talk about all the ways we're different.
Yeah. And so just trying to think through, okay, for just an average Joe,
That's me.
you are average Joe.
Absolutely.
Just for an average Joe who goes, okay, but these are all global problems and I'm not, the president and I can't move pieces around and make people get along. Just the average person, is there anything that we can do to help this divide, to forward reconciliation or understanding or whatever it is? Like, can we have an impact on this divide, or are we just like stuck and go, no, everybody's just mad at everybody?
If we can't make a difference at the individual personal level, like, I'm not sure why we're still here on planet
But
Earth.
doesn't it feel like that in some
absolutely
ways?
somewhat
If we
feels
don't name
monumental.
it, yeah.
I mean, we're running up against right now, it seems like in the media, in culture, in Hollywood, everything is about how different we are, instead of like, no, actually the Bible, I think, teaches how similar we are. But how do we embrace that, think about that, process that? And I do think we could make a difference at the local, individual, family, church-wide, town level by, like, no, we're actually a lot more similar, similar, similar. Grammar's not my thing. If you didn't
what
notice,
is it? Can you help us? More similar.
we're more similar with the other humans, the 7 billion people that
Yeah.
are not me. I have more similarities with them than I have differences. But
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not talking about that.
No, but yeah, because the basic level stuff, right? So Your neighbor could have some similarities to you, but let's say your neighbor is very different. They have a different religion, they have a different background, they work in a total different type of industry, lots of different family situation, right? And yet, doesn't the person who's totally different from you also want some of the same things? They want to feel safe, they want good things for their family, they want to feel loved, they want opportunity.
Yeah, and how about just like, we all have eyes.
Oh.
We all have ears, we have noses, like for the most part, even physically,
Yeah.
the similarities, and even when you pull back like skin color and ethnicity, it's like you get past the outside wrapping.
Right. Exactly the same.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet we're all talking about and divided over, polarized about all the ways that we're different. But when if I did like a little list, it would be fun. Go to the board and like, let's get my neighbor and his family and me and my family. And we wrote down all the things that were similar versus all the things that were different. Which list would be longer?
Oh yeah, similarities would be, we like be endless. You just keep going and going and going and going, right?
But nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Like this shared common humanity.
Yeah.
Even the person that would be considered your enemy, like someone that you would be adamantly against, maybe because they hurt you, or maybe because they just believe totally different. If you did that list of what was similar and what was different, every situation, regardless of sexuality, ethnicity, economics, location, spirituality, anything, the list would be so much longer in what we have in common than what we are different about.
Yeah.
And yet,
So there's a reason why, right? The reason why is because how we're created, the Bible actually tells us why, that we are all made in the image of God. We all carry the image of God. So whether a person is someone who's been walking with Jesus, Bible believing for their entire life, or somebody who's totally opposed to it, or somebody who just is agnostic, or somebody who's Muslim or Hindu, somebody who's whatever, man, woman, child, Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, fill in any blank you want, that person is made in the image of God. And that unites us, connects us, and makes us the same.
yes,
In so many
and
ways.
does that truth, I mean, this is just a fascinating question. Does that truth that we're all created in the image of God, does that transcend every difference? Or should we minimize that truth? Or should we maximize that truth and sort of lift that truth up and say that is true? That every person, I mean, even the person that, like, whatever in your mind is the worst crime or sin someone could commit, does that sin or that crime erase or negate the image of God stamped on us as humans?
Yeah, sin doesn't take that away, right? So when I look at a person who's totally different than me, okay, let's say somebody who's committed the worst, the most heinous acts of crime and sin, it's like, when that person, as the image of God, I don't see the image of God through those crimes.
No.
They're still just the image of God.
And there's something about created in the image of God. I mean, this gets right to foundational stuff in Genesis. Created in the image of God, and a phrase that's in one of the catechisms that says we're created as with souls that will never die. It's like, okay, there's this aspect of me, not even just the image of God stamped on me physically, that I have eyes and ears, I can see like God. I mean, we could have a whole conversation of how we're like God.
Yeah.
You know, who God is and how as humans He made us like Him. The similarities we have with God are incredible. Then to think every human is created in that way, and we have souls that will never die. I mean, that unique piece, do we lift that truth up, that every person is a soul that will never die and will live eternally with or without God? Is that a part of our dialogue or conversation? Or do all these other things sort of pile on top of that? So we don't even see, not only do we not see the image of God, we don't see their soul.
Yeah.
That they're going to live forever. With or without God.
We see them as the issues they believe in, their politics, their
gender
sexuality,
identity,
whatever it is, and we scrape aside. So I think C.S. Lewis says something similar, right? It's like, you've never set your eyes on a mere mortal. No, we're all made to live forever. We're all made to live in immortality. If we just scrape that away, like that's, you can't. That's the essence of who God made us to be.
And that doesn't mean, so what happens is, even as we're having this conversation, I hear the critic out there, the Christian critic that's watching us and going, you guys are just devaluing sin and not making a big deal about sexuality, not making a big deal about politics. Like, no.
Not at all.
Let's go to a higher level first and talk about our similarities, that we're created in the image of God, that we have a soul that will never die. What does that mean? And then how does that impact all this other stuff?
Yeah.
You write this list on a board. I mean, we should do the exercise. Let's list out all the things we have in common. And it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Versus what we have that we don't share. And then maybe if we did that, here's the other thing I think, and this is stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's like there's this conversation about being colorblind or gender blind, and not celebrating the diversity that God. It's like, no, God made, like my brother who's from Jamaica has an ethnicity that I want to see.
That's right. Value.
I want to value the way God,
the uniqueness.
Right.
And the
I'm from
difference.
Jersey. There's aspects of being distinctly Jersey that is worth celebrating. But when that's true. But when we ignore our similarities and we focus on our differences and then attack our differences or try to say those differences aren't real or they don't matter, it's like, no, that's not true. They do matter.
Yeah.
There's ways they're beautiful and there's ways they can be sinful. Both.
Of course, but when we go to this over assimilation, like everyone like has to be homogenous, we devalue the uniqueness of every person.
I mean, I think God is the one that created diversity.
Unique.
And the word diversity has been hijacked in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, we got to go back to redefining who God made us, male and female, created in the image of God. He made them both. Yeah. My gosh, that is beautiful and worth celebrating and talking about and learning from the shared identity and humanity that we all have. Like, I love the fact that you didn't eat filet mignon. In some ways, that is so great that you as an individual decide, I don't really like filet mignon, and Joe loves filet mignon, and we should be side by side together.
Think about the uniqueness of God's design, that we would have a particular palate, that we would have different tastes in things, and can we celebrate those instead of saying one's right, one's wrong?
Yeah, my taste buds love vanilla ice cream. What's your favorite ice cream?
That's good chocolate.
Right? Does that make you right and I'm wrong? Is it sin or not sin? Or is it, wow, he made, like, what does God like? He probably likes all kind of ice cream.
Yeah, that's good.
He's got taste buds for all of it. Maybe.
It's good.
I mean, I think that this is a good conversation, and that we as individuals can move the needle in helping the divide of polarization in our country.
Good.
But we have to have a vision for it that's higher than seeing the way we're different first. First start with, let's talk about all the ways we're similar. So I'm going to write a list.
Good.
I want to come back next week with all the ways that we're similar.
Okay. That'll be fun. And we're going to keep having this conversation over the next couple of weeks. And because we want to drill into specifics, right? Because what about the polarization of Christians? What does the Bible say about how we're to be looking to reconcile and not have the divide? Things like that, right? So we're starting out at the highest level of all humanity. And I think just for anyone watching, like maybe this week, if that's just the thought, is to be thinking, what are the similarities I have with people that are different than me, with my coworkers that annoy me? What are some of the similarities that I have with them?
Are you trying to say something about me as your coworker?
No. Good?
Great.
All right. See you next time.